Audio everything.
Hello, everybody. We are so excited for today's episode. Welcome back to Now and Them. I am your host, Julia Jornce Silverberg, and this is my co-host, Andres Medina. And this is our monthly show where we bring you behind the keyboard to bring you breaking news, tips, and tools to help you up your digital marketing game, all while having a lot of fun. And our goal is to be a voice and sounding board for social media account managers. We want to remind you that you are not alone in the wild world of social media because it is constantly changing. And so we bring you this monthly laugh and learn on the first Thursday of every month. So Andres, are you ready to kick off today?
I am ready. I was having some technical troubles with my audio, but I think I'm figuring it out. But I am excited for this show and to have our guests here soon.
Yeah, we have an amazing guest for you guys, which we will get into shortly. But Andres, that's kind of the beauty of live video, right? Sometimes little technical glitches happen, but we just keep on rolling. And that's the beauty of live, is you guys get to see it all unfold in real time. So the episode that we have for you guys planned today is all about digital detention. We're going to dive into like the little nitty gritty legal things that you really need to know, because it's not just Facebook that you should worry about, but more so all of the platforms and kind of being in the know and staying up to date on the rules and regulations that apply to social media brand managers. So Andreas, I want to know, what would you say your biggest struggle is as it relates to being an account manager? Oh no.
Sorry, sorry, I was not getting any audio. Like it changed out of nowhere. But what was the question again? I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. So since we're going to be talking all about legal and kind of like the nitty gritty, really regulations and things that account managers need to be aware of, I was hoping you could kick us off. Love it, Chad. I was hoping you could kick us off by sharing one of your kind of most frequent struggles that you have, whether it relates to legal or not at all, as an account manager.
So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because one of the biggest, I guess it's not a struggle, but concerns that I have with the clients I work with is copywriting, understanding copywriting. A lot of times they want to use images that they probably do not own the rights to, or they are from a vendor or something. And all the time I ask them, are we allowed to use this picture? Because we don't want to violate those copyrights. The same goes for music. We try to use as much royalty free stuff as possible. But understanding copywriting, it's probably the biggest, I wouldn't say struggle, but concern that I have for my clients.
That is a great point. That's really important. Like Andreas said, we really need to make sure that we are staying mindful of making sure we have the rights to use specific songs, specific imagery. Those are just two examples of things that you really need to be mindful of as a social media account manager. So I am really excited because we're going to dive into more of this topic with Mitch Jackson. And so we're going to bring him on a little bit later. But before we do, we're coming off of a holiday week. So I want to know, I mean, it was Black Friday, it was Cyber Monday. I am super curious. You guys let us know in the comments if you're watching. Did you score any deals? Did you get anything for yourself? Maybe you got a great holiday present. Andreas, did you get anything over these last few busy days of shopping?
I did. I got a couple like tennis shoes that I wanted, sneakers, and that's about it. I'm not a big shopper. Did enjoy like seeing the promotions and ads online and stuff, but I did not purchase that many stuff. I like I like to save money, especially during this holiday season. But yeah, I just got those sneaker shoes that I need to change because I got both of them to be the left shoe. So I need to go I need to go back to the store and make that change.
Okay, in case you guys missed that, Andreas bought sneakers and he got two left shoes. I have never heard of that happening before, ever. If you have ever bought sneakers and got two of the same foot, let us know in the comments, because that is absolutely absurd. That would make me very mad if I were you, Andreas. But you're a good sport, and we had definitely, don't go dancing with Andreas. He's gonna bump into you and make you kind of maybe look a little dumb on the dance floor. But so we are going to dive into, before we bring Mitch on, let's dive into some news, because there has been a lot. Okay, so in news on social media, the first story we're going to talk about is Facebook. There was a big Facebook announcement in the middle of November where Facebook decided to remove thousands of ad targeting categories around sensitive topics, which is really kind of signaling the company taking further steps to align with evolving privacy regulations. And abiding by privacy regulations is huge. This is something that we're going to get into a little bit with Mitch. But Andreas, I'm curious if you have anything you want to share about this news update, or if you want to just take us into our second one.
All I have to say for this, I like that Facebook is doing this. I mean, every update should be for the better of the good of everyone. And there's a lot of sensitive data on Facebook. Like, a lot of people just think like this is social media. No, there's a lot of sensitive data being managed, and I think this is going to benefit both like the marketer and the customer, because they're getting better targeted ads. You're not getting random weird ads, and the marketer is spending their money better. Like, they're targeting the right audiences. So I think I want to see how this is going to play out for everyone.
Totally. So our second news story is we're going to dive into really the world of augmented virtual reality, because we know that that is really where things are heading in 2022. And Snapchat actually just launched a new augmented reality shopping showcase, really. It's really a signal that Snapchat, Pinterest with Pinterest TV, these platforms are really starting to create more immersive experiences that really promote shopping in real time on the platform. So Andreas, I'm curious if you've seen any of these yet, or what you think about this.
So I personally haven't used Snapchat that much lately, but I could say that augmented reality, it's amazing. I've tried it on, I believe it was the Apple website when I was buying an iPad, and like I could literally turn on my camera and see how the iPad will look on my desk, and I can see like the size and stuff. So I think this is somehow like improve the shopping experience online for everyone. Like, let's say that Old Navy is going to use augmented reality to promote their new beanie collection for the winter, I guess. And you just literally open the camera and they have the beanie right on your head. You can see how it looks. You don't have to go to the store and try it out. And augmented reality is amazing. I mean, the future is here, and it's only going to get better from here on.
I totally agree. I mean, thinking about the ability to just try on virtually different sunglasses, different bags, different jackets, getting a real sense of how this is going to look is going to be huge.
Fun story. Now that you mentioned the sunglasses, I went to Macy's during Black Friday, and my little cousin was purchasing some sunglasses. She was like I'm trying them out, and then the lady was like, you can actually order a different color that we do not have in the store right now. And she was like, but I don't know how that color is going to look on me. She was like, don't worry, you can try our augmented reality, so you can try it. And then they brought in an iPad and they put her face in it and they show how the glass will look, and it looks so realistic. Like, I had to look at her and the iPad. I was like, it looks like you're actually wearing them. So that's another plus. Like, augmented reality got my vote for everything. Every store should be using it, for everyone, because e-commerce is here. So like, why not use it?
Absolutely. And again, we are all about creating that relationship with your customers, right? And what better way to kind of kick off that relationship than by creating that immersive experience? Yeah, and Jessica said, like, being able to try on like different lipstick colors and things like that. Like, I mean, the possibilities are seriously endless, and this is going to be a game-changing functionality for brands to start to use to enhance the shopping experience and drive more sales. So I am very excited for how this is going to continue to roll out over the course of this year, because it's really clear that we're just going to continue to see a lot more of this in 2022 across the board. So our next news story is all about Instagram. Instagram is experimenting with longer videos in stories. So on stories now, you're going to be able to create like videos up to 60 seconds, and they're no longer going to necessarily be broken into segments. So this means that soon you'll be able to, the article says, post full reels in stories, share regular video posts, and really it's like essentially that all of Instagram's video options are being brought into one line, step by step, as the platform tries to make it easier to post video content. Because we know that Instagram is trying to compete with the eyeballs that TikTok gets. And so Instagram is like, come on, we want you to watch more videos over here. So what do you think, Andreas?
I couldn't be more excited about this because you have no idea how many times I've uploaded a video to my story and then it breaks it down into sections, and I hate seeing so many like those little tabs on the top. I just hate how it breaks down the videos, and I'm actually excited about this, especially that I like to create content with my GoPro and post it on my story. I just want to try it out, and see how it looks.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the more that Instagram makes it easy for people to post video, the more people are going to post video on the platform. It's as simple as that. So this is definitely a smart evolution of the platform. So we're going to get into some shout out time, right?
Let's go for it.
So today we are going to shout out. The whole point of us doing shout outs is we want to be able to spread some love, but we also want to know, what are you guys celebrating? What do you have going on? Is there anyone that you want to shout out? Maybe someone had a birthday or an anniversary. Andreas, who do you want to shout out?
I want to shout out Joanna from our team at Now, our ads manager, because she kicked ass on the step challenge. And I'm sorry if I'm not allowed to mention that word here, but she had almost 400,000 steps in a month. That's incredible. Our team did not win, looking at the numbers here, but she was the best stepper out of everyone. And thank you for being on our team. Shout out to you for, I guess, getting lost, because that's why you got so many steps. So fun story. That's why she got so many steps. She got lost in the swamps, and she had about 23,000 steps in one day. But shout out to you, Joanna. And then who else? Aren't we celebrating Amber's birthday last Friday? Didn't we celebrate that?
Exactly. Amber had a birthday a week ago. So happy belated birthday, Amber. We love you. And Andres mentioned his team didn't win, but my team did. We had a really, really fun competitive step challenge going on for the month of November. Honestly, I am super grateful that I was just randomly put on Janelle's team, because it seems to be that if you are on Janelle's team, you're on the winning team. Janelle kicks butt when it comes to getting her daily steps in. That woman is like a machine. She's on the treadmill early, getting in like miles of steps before some of us are even awake. So the secret to winning the step challenge is just to be on Janelle's team, and then you're going to end up winning. So we would love to know if
I'm going to take note of that.
I mean, it was random, but I was so psyched. I was like, yep, I'm on Team Janelle. But yes, and Jessica said, shout out to the level ups. You guys, if you didn't know, one of the things that we really, really believe in is investing in our professional and personal development at Now. And so we do these level up challenges where not only do we get rewarded for reading books and immersing ourselves in educational experiences like getting certifications and taking LinkedIn skills assessments, but we also have a lot of fun in really supporting each other when it comes to a wellness standpoint. And so we do step challenges, we do little workout challenges, and it's just something for us to kind of do as a team bonding experience while also having a lot of fun. So those are our shout outs. And the last thing that I want to shout out is Social Media Week Lima, because we just had our biggest sale ever. We did a super fun Black Friday / Cyber Monday sale, and we had a whole bunch of folks sign up to join us on June 15th and 16th in Lima, Ohio. We are so freaking excited, and we want you to know a little bit about why you should join us. So,
Social Media Week Lima. I am so excited. Your message is bigger than your product. What are they connecting with about us as a brand? What is our message that they're aligning with?
Absolutely love it. I've walked away with so many great ideas.
By far, the best run event that I've been to.
That's the key. Focusing on the people that you've already won, that already love you, and just empower them to want to do more.
Events like this really give us the opportunity to come together, to meet, to make connections, to build relationships that we can take forward and use 365 days a year.
Oh, y'all, I hate boring. It is my goal in life to make sure that y'all leave here with a plan.
We can't tell stories that matter until we understand that consumer. We understand how they feel. We need to care about each other. We need to care about our consumers, and we need to show we care in everything that we do.
Hey, yeah.
You are worthy of the challenge of being an entrepreneur. You are worthy of making the world a better place.
we are so excited to bring in our featured guests. Ooh, not quite yet.
Definitely not game time.
Not game
but
time.
We got our featured guest here.
It's always time.
Oh my God.
I heard the question. The question was, did we pick up anything fun on Black Friday or Cyber Monday? Yes. This is
Oh
it.
my God. I love this.
Where's my controller? So I can't actually see you two right now.
Oh, I thought you were actually seeing us through that. I was like, okay, that's amazing.
I am joining
Tell
you
me more
through the
about it.
metaverse, coming from the metaverse. Let's make this happen. Now,
Oh my
isn't that
God.
cool? How fun is that?
That is freaking
That's
awesome,
amazing.
Mitch. What an entrance.
Yeah,
guys-
I kind of want one of those now.
I love the preview too. The preview played great. I was watching it over on Facebook with the sound, and I saw a lot of familiar faces, a lot of mutual friends that I guess are very involved in what you're doing in Lima, Ohio. So that's a lot of fun to watch. Brings back memories.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Mitch. We're so happy to have you here. You guys, Mitch Jackson is an award-winning California trial lawyer. Mitch enjoys sharing through the art of storytelling, and he has over 35 years of legal, business, social media, and life lessons. And he loves to help folks use social media, digital, and technology to complement their human side in order to disrupt, hack, and improve their companies, causes, and professional relationships. So thank you so much, Mitch. What a bio. I'm so happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here. You know, it's funny, you blink and the years just go by. I remember when there wasn't anything called live video or live streaming. We blink today and there are amazing shows just like this, bringing in content from other places, creating new relationships, entertaining all of us like the two of you do so well. So it's a pleasure to be on your show today.
Well, thank you so much. So, Mitch, tell me a little bit about yourself beyond the introduction that I kind of gave you and a little bit about your background.
Well, I've always been someone that likes to try different things. I grew up on a guest ranch in Tucson, Arizona, watched my dad and mom cater to guests from all over the world. They'd come out and play cowboy or cowgirl for a week and had a chance to really meet some amazing people. Walt Disney, John Wayne, Morley Safer from 60 Minutes, a lot of different people from different fields and walks of life. And I watched how my mom and dad interacted with them. Okay. And it was all about the personal relationships. They didn't talk about business. They didn't talk about themselves. They just asked a lot of open-ended questions about other people's lives. And I was always that fly on the wall, just listening. Fast forward to moving to Southern California and starting my practice. I started my practice the same way. You know, I just really tried to create, back in the day before the internet as we know it, an exemplary client experience. I tried to cater to what the client's particular needs are or were back then. And what I've noticed with social and digital and everything that we're all doing today is all of those approaches work really well on the digital platforms, right? The social skills, the people skills. Anybody can click a button and go live, but watching the two of you interact, okay? You know, while I've been in the green room watching and learning is what it takes to put on a good show. And I think people that really focus on the people skills, both if you're a lawyer, if you're a business owner, whatever you do for a living, I think that's what kind of puts you over the hump and gives you an advantage, not only in the digital space that we're on today, but also over on the metaverse and in VR, like you were talking about. There's an interaction there that just works. So those are some of the things that I enjoy bringing to the table. I enjoy learning about each and every day. My priorities in life, just so you know, number one, health first, health physically and mentally. If you're not healthy, it's hard to be useful to everybody else. Number two, family, right? Family, kids, neighbors, friends. Number three, occupation and profession. So when I'm on social media, I always keep those three things in mind. I got back from a run earlier today. That's why I'm glad you're not here in my office with me, because I don't smell that good. Okay. And I heard you guys talking about steps. I get it. But you know, one of the things I like about technology is we can do our things. We can pop in, we can engage, meet clients virtually, we can add value, answer questions, and then we can get on with our lives. And before the internet, it was tough to do all that. So
yeah,
that's kind of where my head's at.
Well, you just shared so much amazingness. I mean, firstly, I got to say, I love those three things. And I love that you put health first. That speaks so much to our culture right now. I mean, like we mentioned, we do these wellness challenges because we believe and know that if we don't feel good, we can't show up well for work. We can't show up well for our friends, for our family, like you said, which is number two, and number three being work, right? So it all starts with health. And honestly, Jessica always says it starts from the inside out, right? So that means for ourselves as individuals, right? It starts the inside, taking care of our bodies and our minds, as well as from a company culture standpoint. It starts from that inside, and then that's what bleeds out. So we got to rewind a little bit, because you just like casually mentioned that your parents had this ranch that hosted celebrities like Walt Disney. So I'm going to need you to share a little bit more about that, specifically like how that experience kind of taught you, shaped you, and impacted your approach to life.
I think what I learned is that whoever we're thinking of, whoever we look up to, whoever we're watching on the news, or we want to get on our show as a guest, when it's all said and done, we're just human beings. They're just like you and me. Believe me, everybody, nothing special other than, you know, the passion they bring to something that they really enjoy doing. They're great at what they're doing, but otherwise, you know, just human beings. And so I realized when I became a lawyer. I was the first lawyer in my family. I was the first college graduate in my immediate family, first one to go to law school. And it was a little bit intimidating. Like, how do you practice law? How do you open up a law firm? How do you try a case? And it was intimidating walking into that courtroom, looking at a judge in a black robe, opposing counsel that went to an Ivy League law school, a client that's counting on me to get the results that he or she or they expect and deserve. And one thing I learned is I remember how my mom and dad would handle it. And, you know, you're just in a room with other people. So focus on your people skills. Focus on being truthful, honest, building rapport. And by the way, everything I'm talking about has to do with social media, right? It has to do with being strategically transparent, being real, adding value in the courtroom, adding value on the digital platforms, so that when those hard decisions need to be made, in my case, in a courtroom, the jury is looking at me like, you're our leader in the courtroom. What should we do next? And then having a clear and concise call to action. In my case, this is what you need to do next. I pull up a jury verdict sheet, I fill it in, and I walk through it. I leave nothing to chance. I think the same thing applies on social media. Whatever that direct or subtle call to action is, I think if you've earned the right to engage with someone and build and earn their trust and show them a way to help solve their problems, they're going to want to know what's that next step. And so what I learned from my mom and dad at the ranch is how to build the relationships so that when it's time to take somebody by the hand and take that next step, there's a right and a wrong way to do it. The right way to do it is through relationships, through being transparent, through being honest, not exaggerating what your products and services can do. So those were some of my takeaways, growing up in the environment that I did. The other thing was my folks were, I grew up playing traditional sports. But my senior year of high school, I started hang gliding. And for those of you that don't know what hang gliding is, you're jumping off a mountain or a cliff with a Dacron, aluminum kite on your back. And in about a year, my buddy and I acquired our Hang 4 expert ratings. We did a lot of rock climbing, a lot of sailboard racing, windsurfing back in the day, just a lot of crazy things. And one of the things that I learned from that is my mom and dad always gave me the green light to try new things. That's the point of my story is on social and digital, when a new platform comes out, if you're being asked to do a live video show for the first time, give yourself permission to take that next step, to take that risk. And what you'll find is that if things don't work out, if your internet goes down, if your sound doesn't work, guess what? The sun's going to come up tomorrow. And we're all in this together, right? We're all going to be embracing and supporting each other and be there for each other. I learned that if I can jump off a 2,000-foot cliff in a hang glider and survive, and even when things don't go right, it's still a doable situation. Everything else like social media, digital, playing around in the metaverse, being one of the first lawyers to really build out a brand in the metaverse where we're meeting with clients, we're doing presentations in a virtual reality type of environment. The worst thing that's happened so far is we got spit out, everything went dark. So what? We did it the next day. The best thing that happened is we created a lot more new relationships. We improved our brand as being that law firm that really is comfortable in technology, and some amazing friendships that you can make, I think, in the metaverse because it's so real. It's like the three of us are actually standing right next to each other, looking in each other's body movement. Our actual profiles are put on top of the avatar. So it's a very real experience. So taking risk and taking chances, I think, is what we all need to do when it comes to social and digital. But we want to follow the rules, right? We want to make sure we're not creating any unnecessary challenges for ourselves. And so that's why when you asked me to come on today, I wanted to come on and maybe give some pointers to help everyone continue to have big smiles on their faces and stay away from people like me in my law firm offices, because, we're usually just helping people that have some major challenges in their life. And I don't want anybody listening to this to be one of those people.
Well, that was an amazing answer. And I would love you to let's just dive on in. Let's dive into some of those tips that you want to share. Let's go for it.
Sure. No, I'd be happy to. So some of the things you already talked about, Andreas was talking a little bit about copyright and IP. And I think for social media, whether it's social media advertising, if it's creating content, whether it's written blog posts with pictures and videos, whether it's a podcast audio, whether it's a recorded or live video, maybe even if it's, creating content for the metaverse, do you have permission to use the content that you want to use in your social media post? Okay. And by that, I mean, what we tell our clients, generally speaking, if you didn't take the photograph, if you didn't take the video, if you didn't create that graphic that you're using within your content, then you probably don't have permission to use it in your post, in the metaverse, in whatever you're doing. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule, but that's a good place to start, right? Did I create this content or did I get proper permission to use this content? That's the first thing. Don't get wrapped up about, well, I'm only using it for 6 seconds, or I'm only using this little picture as, one of 55 slides. That doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. If you're using somebody else's content without his, her, or their permission, you're probably violating a copyright. So you want to make sure that when you use content, you have either ownership rights, you've licensed the right to use the content. On big projects, you want to make sure that when you acquire these rights, are you actually acquiring these rights from the person who has the legal right to license them to you? See, oftentimes we see people coming to our office with a contract saying, I purchased these rights, I'm using this video, and now I'm being sued for copyright or intellectual property violations. And we'll look at the agreement, and the other person signing the agreement didn't have permission to enter into the agreement in the first place. So make sure you understand who owns the content and what your rights are when it comes to using it. And generally, licensing is what we see. You acquire the license or the limited permission to use somebody else's copyright. There's an exception called the fair use doctrine. Fair use doctrine, there are a couple of exceptions to whether or not you can use somebody else's copyrighted material. You know, reach out, go to Wikipedia, read about the fair use doctrine. Let me tell you how it works in the real world. In the real world, the way it works, generally speaking, is if you're using someone else's content for commercial purposes and you're claiming fair use, you're treading on thin ice. And what I mean by that is what I see in court is normally the party with the best lawyer winning a fair use argument, even if you are complying with the fair use doctrine, which means you're using somebody else's content for educational purposes in the classroom, to explain a news story, for example. Those generally will fall under fair use, but all of that's subject to interpretation. So even if you're right and you're wrongfully brought into court on a claim, on a copyright claim, you may have to spend years of your life, hundreds of thousands of dollars of your money to show that you're right. And I don't want anyone to do that, because even when you're right, that's not a good end result. So just be aware of where the content's coming from. Do you have permission to use it? I think that's probably the biggest challenge I'm seeing today on social media. The other caveat is people are saying, well, I saw so-and-so doing this, or I pulled this from someone else's ad and they gave me permission. Well, if they acquired that image from a third party without proper copyright ownership permission, then they don't have the right to let you use that image. And so it's kind of confusing, but it's super important. And that's what I would have everyone focus on, at least getting started in this conversation.
That is a great starting point for all account managers, really. I mean, Andreas, I'm sure that for you, you're constantly telling clients the importance of making sure that all of the content that they're using is theirs.
Absolutely. And I know most of them, most of them get these pictures from their vendors. And sure, these vendors probably took those pictures, but what if they didn't? Then we also get in trouble. Like you said, like we don't know if they have the rights to those pictures. So always finding that source. And a lot of people think that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but just by giving credit, they are okay. I'm not violating anything. I gave credit to whoever took this picture.
Correct.
I guess that's a question I had for you. Is giving credit like a way out, or is just like violating it? Like it doesn't count.
It doesn't even count. And the reason it doesn't even count, in fact, it may actually help you dig a deeper hole, because if now you're aware that the item you're using belongs to somebody else to the point where you felt the need to give that person credit, that tells me you understood that there was a problem in the first place with using that item. So you got to be careful about that. So that's not an affirmative defense. The other issue has to do with, let's say as an agency owner, you're creating content every day for your clients, and clients are giving you photographs or videos that they tell you they created in-house. It's their content, right? What you want to do is you want to make sure that in your documents with your clients, you have provisions, and those provisions set forth, listen, if you're providing me with content that we're going to be used for our social media campaigns, you're agreeing and representing that you have full intellectual property rights associated with that content. And if something comes up down the line, there's another provision you want to have in your agreements, which is an equitable indemnity and apportionment clause. And what that means is your client will protect you with a defense, will reimburse you for damages if you're brought into an intellectual property copyright litigation matter, because you relied upon their good faith representations, which you thought were good faith, in using that content in the first place. So there are things that you can put into your agreements that you use with your clients to help protect you. They're professional. This is what professional companies do anyway. And they also will help give your lawyer the ability to negotiate settlements, resolutions, to mediate these claims and disputes if you have the right contract terms, in place. So that's a great question. That's why I wanted to start off with this issue, because it's misunderstood. If people are interested, this is something that a client gave me. It's pretty good. And the last line on this totally fits my life, just so you know. Patents, copyrights, and trademarks for dummies. And I'm telling you guys, this is a very good book to give you an overview on everything I'm talking about. Okay, so I suggest everybody get something like this and read it, because along the lines of, let's say someone took the picture and gave it to you to use in your social media content, but they took the picture of a public figure. They took the picture of a BMW. They took the picture of something that's protected by trademark, trade name, or copyright. You might not have the legal right to leverage that high-profile vehicle or person in your marketing and advertising unless you have express written permission. So it doesn't really matter who took it oftentimes. The subject matter within that piece of asset matters too.
That's a great point, Mitch, which I'm sure a lot of people don't recognize. And I saw a comment come through earlier from Jacqueline that said a lot of times, small businesses are like, oh, well, I'm so small, no one will ever notice, or I'll never get in trouble. So what's your response typically when you hear that?
I'll tell you how it works in the real world. She may be right? There's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and big companies only have so much time and so many resources to allocate. Okay. But it only takes one person with the right connections to bring your copyright violation to the attention of me. And what a lot of big companies do is they'll go ahead and they'll monitor your company, your small company, and they'll pay attention to what you're doing until you become a big company with deep pockets. And now that you become a big, successful company with deep pockets, that's when you're going to get that email, that certified letter, that FedEx advising you as to what they've been watching for the last year and a half, and how they've incurred damages, and they're going to ask you to step up and take care of them. So you want to be careful about that, because Big Brother's always watching.
That is a great point. So Mitch, would you say that there are any social platforms that are maybe a little bit tighter when it comes to rules and restrictions than others?
Well, I mean, platforms that are in the news right now seems to be the platforms that everybody's paying attention to. So, TikTok, Facebook, obviously Instagram are platforms that everybody's talking about, whether it's in business, whether it's Facebook changing its name to Meta, whether it's politics, privacy, safety, all of the above. Those are the platforms that the big magnifying glass is on. So I encourage everyone, read the terms of service agreements to the platforms, the TOS agreements to the platforms, and dive deep on the TOS provisions that apply to what it is you want to do. Super important. Okay, most people don't read the terms. Everyone in the audience, raise your hand if you've read every single word in the terms of service agreement. See, not a single hand's coming up. It's just something that none of us do. And I get it, right? We're all super busy. But I would suggest read the TOS, pay attention when you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok right now, and follow the rules, because if you don't follow the rules, you're going to get shut down, or a competitor's going to report you, and then you're going to get shut down. And I think that's probably the first step in direct response to your question.
I love that. Yeah, it's so important to make sure that you guys bookmark these terms of service too. That's my tip. Bookmark them so that you have.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
I mean, like when it comes to, I know that like for Facebook has a ton of rules that you need to follow when it comes to ads. And those are constantly changing. So when you find that little, like you need to bookmark that so that on a monthly basis, maybe a weekly basis, you're going back in and making sure that your ads are really following all of those rules and regulations, because as they're changing, you can't just think that the rules that existed a year ago are the exact same rules that exist today. So making sure that as a marketer, you're kind of evolving as the platforms evolve so that, like you said, you're not getting yourself in trouble.
Great point. Everything's constantly changing. Clubhouse on a weekly basis sends out a message as to their weekly updates. And I think I'm the only person, at least in my community, that reads this thing, because I'm interested in it and I want to share it with one of my groups, lawyers on Clubhouse. But yeah, things are changing like this, so you got to pay attention and stay on top of all the changes. Critically important.
Exactly. So before we get into our game segment, Mitch, I'm hoping that you can just leave our audience with a little tip. So if someone were just starting a business today, what would be your top piece of advice for them?
My top piece of advice is do something that you really enjoy doing, because every single startup that I've helped over the last 35 years, and it's been hundreds and hundreds of startups, whether it's from scratch, doing litigation or trial, the successful ones did three things. Number one, the founders were passionate about their vision. They really believed in what they were doing. And you guys have all heard this before. It didn't feel like work, even though you're working your butts off. They enjoyed the process. Number two, they had a good lawyer in their corner to help them avoid legal issues, which is huge right now. And number three, they had a great CPA or accountant advising them on all the financial decisions. Because if you make the right financial decisions and accounting decisions, you can minimize taxes and maximize profits or revenue. And I can say without exception, all of the successful startups had those three elements as part of their daily activity. I would like to say that for small business owners, when you can, and check with a lawyer in your state, no legal advice is being given, but if you can, try to become and do business as a legal entity, whether you're a sub-S corporation, so you're treated as a corporation for business purposes, but you're taxed as an individual, you're not double taxed, maybe a limited liability company. If you're able to get any type of liability insurance to cover the business decisions, the business activities, that's always smart. That way, if any of these problems come up, a couple of things happen. If it's your corporation or business entity that inadvertently used or misapplied an asset, a photo, a video, where you didn't have intellectual property rights to use it because of something a client gave you, if you do this correctly and all of your business transactions are done on behalf of the company, you can actually protect your personal assets from your business liabilities. That's critically important, and a lot of people don't consider that. So as soon as you can, talk to a professional in your state. You can do this yourself using LegalZoom or some other online cloud-based services, but make sure you set it up correctly. That's the easy part. And then the challenging part can be running your agency as a legal entity month after month and year after year. You want to keep your separate personal accounts from your business bank accounts. You have personal credit cards, business bank cards. Everything needs to be separate. And as long as you do that, I think you're setting yourself up for not only long-term liability protection, but you're also setting yourself up for if you ever want to sell your company, whether it's venture capital, whether it's to a third party. It's impressive that you treated your business as a business, and it makes you more attractive to a venture capital play than if you're just doing business on your own. So those would be a couple of preliminary steps I highly recommend. And I think your clients and customers will take you more seriously. I think it will help you sleep better at night, and it will definitely help you avoid coming into offices like mine when things go south and you need someone to drop gloves and throw some punches for you. So that would be my advice.
Well, honestly, Mitch, that is some amazing advice. And for the small business owners out there that are hearing this and maybe feeling a little bit overwhelmed, take a deep breath and really, really take the time to do these things that Mitch is talking about, because I'm sure you're sitting there and thinking that you don't have the time. But if you don't take the time now, you're never going to do it. And it is only going to really kind of expose you to more risk. So as much as you can, get your mindset into the right space to understand that while it is time consuming to do these things, they are critical to establishing that health and stable foundation for your business.
Good
so
advice.
Now that we talked a little bit of legal, let's have some fun and play a game.
That's my favorite part. I like that. You said laughs and learn. Laugh and learn at the beginning of the show. That's the laughing part's my favorite part.
That's what we're here to do. We're here to laugh a lot, learn a lot, and just enjoy our time together. So we like to play some games. And so the first game we're going to play is a rapid fire game. So Mitch, I'm going to ask you, it's like a this or that. What's your preference? And it's first thing that comes to your mind. And then I'm going to ask Andreas some similar questions as well. So
Sounds
are
good.
you ready?
Let's do it. I'm ready. Are you ready, Andreas?
Yeah, I'm always ready. I mean, it's
all
gonna
right.
be my third round of questions, and I can't wait to see your answers.
All right, the
So
bar, you're raising the bar
let's go for
pretty
it.
high for yourself. So let's go for it.
Okay, so Mitch, tie or bow tie?
Neither, but tie.
Okay, well, neither. Now I need a little explanation.
Oh, I'm not wearing a bow tie or a tie, and I'm working today, but I would go with a tie, definitely.
Okay. Tea or coffee?
Coffee, my favorite beverage in the world.
What's your coffee order?
What's my coffee order is downstairs each morning when I get up. Just love making our own coffee. If I do go over to Starbucks, I do enjoy, if anyone's buying, a nice non-fat vanilla latte.
Have either of you guys tried the pumpkin cream cold brew from Starbucks?
I think
I
so.
have not.
I think so.
It is so good. It is like fall in a cup. For those of you watching, if you have not tried Starbucks's pumpkin cream cold brew, please do yourself a favor and go get it like literally today, because it is just the best.
The power of metaphors. Fall in a cup. I love that.
It really is. It's so good. So my next question for you is plane or train?
Plane.
Okay.
But not in today's world. I'm going to wait until 2022.
I hear that. Facebook or Instagram?
Instagram.
Fun. I would have expected Facebook.
I don't know how to take that, but Instagram definitely.
I guess I kind of assume lawyers are enjoying Facebook more than the super visual platform of Instagram.
So here's the thing. Take the hat off, what we do for a living, and if you want to connect with people, on a personal, deep level, for me, I think Instagram's a little less stressful. It's a lot more fun seeing what everyone's doing. You can really drop into the DMs and have meaningful conversations. And so for me, it's more fun, it's more engaging, and you can really meet some amazing people over on the platform. So
you know what? That's a very on-brand answer for you. I really appreciate it. It's all about the relationship building, and you're able to do that. I agree with you a little bit better over on Instagram. So my last question for you is drama or comedy?
Comedy, 100%. I don't have any time in my life for drama.
Amen. Do you have a favorite comedy television show or movie?
Geez, that's putting me on the spot right now. I will say, yeah, I'll tell you what. I really enjoyed what's The Office. The Office is classic. My kids turn me on to The Office. Yeah, that goes back a few years. What is it? Schitt's Creek? Schitt's Creek? What's it called?
I love Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, Schitt's Creek. I thought that was brilliant. The timing of when it rolled out, my wife Lisa and I, we binge watched it, that first couple of weeks of COVID. So I really enjoyed that. That was fun.
I also love Schitt's Creek. Okay, Andreas, are you ready for your rapid fire?
Let's go for it.
Okay, tie or bow tie?
Tie.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee and black coffee. All right. So I like black coffee in the morning, but in the afternoon I like coffee with milk and sugar. But in the morning, black coffee wakes me up, I guess. I don't know. I just like it that way.
So you start out your days bitter and you get a little bit sweeter as the day goes on.
I guess. I just feel like the black coffee gives me like a faster energy pump. And then the sweetness of the coffee with milk, it just puts me at like relaxation to sleep or something.
I love it. Train or plane?
Definitely plane. I've been flying everywhere I go because I live in an island. So if I had the boat option, I would say boat, but plane out of a plane or train.
Like you would take a long boat drive, like a long boat journey?
Oh, yes. Like, so in my 18th birthday, I went to Tortola, to the British Virgin Islands. And
that's my favorite place in the world, right?
Yeah, so I didn't know that, but I'm not surprised because I spent a whole week in a boat, like living on a boat, and we actually have to go out and fish for our lunch. So we were eating fish every day. And the experience of waking up in the ocean and just amazing sunsets, amazing sunrises. You're too hot, jump into the water. It was just, I liked it. Like the life in the ocean is way better. So yeah, I will definitely take a boat trip anytime. I don't care if it takes a whole month. I'll spend a whole month in the ocean. That sounds like fun to me.
I love it. So my next two, Andreas, taco or burrito?
Okay, tacos, but like if they're authentic, tacos. But if it's Chipotle, I'll go with burritos because tacos are too small.
I hear that. I had to throw in Mexican food because you mentioned queso earlier, and now I'm like craving tacos like none other.
It sounds good. Sounds good.
I can actually. Oh, I kind of want tacos now. Steak tacos.
And my last one, Andreas, drama or comedy?
Definitely comedy. I mean, I know there's some drama movies with comedy, but definitely comedy. I guess not a lot of people in my circle of friends like comedy movies. They're like more like drama, actions, or horror. I'm all about comedy. And talking about comedy, I was watching a movie last night. It wasn't last night, a couple nights ago, called Red Notice on Netflix. Super funny action comedy movie. If you have not seen it, go watch it. Mitch, I highly recommend it. It's super funny. Yeah, him.
So have you seen Ryan's, Twitter and social media accounts? That's the way we all need to do social media. The way Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's just having a good time.
It's fantastic. It's so good and so effective. So I'll definitely watch it because of your recommendation.
I love it.
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. I promise.
Chad, no, we are not looking for a new producer. We love you. So we are going to go into our second game round. This is like a little bit more get to know you style question. So Chad.
Right.
Okay, so first question, Mitch. I'm going to go Mitch, then Andreas. So
right.
Mitch, if you had a life motto, what would it be?
Make each day your masterpiece.
Ooh.
It's not mine. It's from the great legendary coach, John Wooden of UCLA basketball. But I have been sharing that with my kids for years. And if you were to meet either one of them and say, AJ, Garrett, what are you going to do today? They'll look at you, they'll roll their eyes, they'll go, make each day our masterpiece. So that's something I live by and I love it. Keeps me happy.
I love that.
Awesome.
Andreas, if you could have any car in the world, what would your dream car be?
Oof. Can I have two or
Nope.
just one?
Just one.
Just one.
I like to make
so
it
right now, if I could walk out of my house and go to a dealership and get a car, it'll probably be a Corvette Stingray. I just like fast cars and I just love the Corvette. Like I like the classic Corvette, but if I were to get one, I'll get the newest one.
Sweet. I love it. So Mitch, back to you. What
Julia.
has been the best holiday gift that you have ever received?
Ooh. I'm going to say an unexpected trip. My wife got the family to London and Paris, and we live in California. So it was fun with the kids, and we weren't expecting it. And she got a little bit crazy, and that was fun. I enjoy spending time with them and traveling. So for me, that was it.
That is amazing. So where in California are you?
We're in Orange County, Southern California.
Great.
So, if I had my option between boat and plane, though, I didn't know there was a third option. I would have said paddleboarding. I love to paddleboard. I paddleboard 3-4 times a week down at the harbor. So.
Oh, that is so nice. I also love paddleboarding. I mean, I'm in Buffalo, so paddleboarding season is like 2 months of the year, but I'm out there when it's warm enough.
Awesome.
So, Andreas, what is the best holiday gift that you've ever received?
So, I mean, I've received plenty of good gifts. If I have a family member watching this, thank you for all the gifts you have given me. But this gift that I'm never going to left shoes. The gift that I'm never going to forget when I was little is when my grandma got me my very first PlayStation. I get PlayStation 1 or 2. But it was my very first gaming console, and ever since I've been loyal to the Sony PlayStation brand. Like, I've had the chance to get an Xbox, like way down the line in the years, but I always wait for the PlayStation because I guess since my grandma made me that gift when I was little, I guess it was Santa. Since Santa left that gift at my grandma's house, it has been memorable for me because I don't know, I've been gaming my whole life, and that's where it all started.
I love it. So, Mitch, if someone had to play you in the movie of your life, who would play you?
Wow. Yeah, really, Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I don't know who would want to. Let's put it that way. But
that's not part of the question.
I don't know. You put me on the spot on that one. I would take probably the first actor that came along that was interested in the part. You can have the part. I don't know.
That's great. So Andreas, one more for you, and then I've got one more for Mitch.
Yeah, it's tough.
So Andreas, if you could eat only one meal for the rest of your life, what would the meal be?
Chinese. One answer. It's Chinese food overall. Definitely not dark chocolate, Chad.
Interesting.
Definitely Chinese food. I'm a freak of Chinese food, and those close to me know it. I just love it. I don't know, like my girlfriend keeps telling me that I'm not going to live until I'm 50 because I eat way too much Chinese because of the sodium and everything, but I guess I work out so I can eat. So I'm working out so I can eat more Chinese.
I love it. That's amazing. Well, Andres, maybe think about like adding a salad in there every now and then. You know what I mean? Just to like, just to make your girlfriend happy.
Chinese salad, maybe sushi. I ate ramen yesterday.
So my last question for you, Mitch, is what is your favorite childhood memory?
Ooh, favorite childhood memory. Going back up until what age? What do you consider a child?
This is you get to choose your own adventure.
So Andreas was talking about boats and being out on the water. Growing up in Tucson, my dad and two business partners had a boat in San Diego, California. So I remember in the summers when it was 115 degrees in Tucson, getting in the station wagon back in the day, my mom and dad, windows up, mom and dad chain smoking all the way over to San Diego. This is before we knew, and I don't know why I'm still alive. No seatbelts, 90 miles an hour. I remember those road trips as being kind of fun, but what I really remember is being out on the water on the boat, on the sailboat, and how much fun we had, just bonding and being away. They were away from the ranch, from work. I was away from high school football or sports in the summer, which is miserable in Tucson. And for me, those are fond memories, so much so that when I graduated from the University of Arizona, I thought to myself, I'm going to move back over to Southern California and start my life. So it definitely had an impact. I encourage everyone, if you can travel, if you can try different things, whether it's on social, digital, metaverse, whatever it might be. If you like to blog, but you've never really done video or live video, try something new because it just might spark your interest in a direction that you didn't expect, and it might actually change your life forever. So yeah, those road trips, windows up, chain smoking, 90 miles an hour, no seatbelts, changed my life.
Well, I love
Sounds like fun.
Well, and it's a full circle story because now you live in Southern California, so there's something very beautiful about that. So last month we mentioned that we were giving away a ring light to one of you guys who has been engaging with us on the show through comments. Ooh. And so today we're going to pick that winner. So Andreas, can I get a little drum roll, please? Thank you very much. So the lucky winner of a ring light is Jennifer Verhoff in our Relationships ROI group. So we are super excited to get you this ring light, Jennifer. We will be reaching out to you and giving you the details on how you can get your prize. And if you guys want to be entered to win prizes and fun stuff, just make sure that you're engaged with our show. Start commenting and join our Relationships ROI Facebook group. So before we wrap it up, Mitch, I want you to share, you've shared so many valuable tips with our audience today. I mean, kind of helping them figure out where to get started when it comes to implementing all of these different really things that they need to do in order to be set up from a stable and smart legal standpoint. So if you could just kind of sum up some of your top takeaways for our audience to kind of inspire them to take action today.
My thoughts would be enjoy what you're doing and have fun. Give yourself permission to approach whatever you do, whether it's marketing and branding on social media, whether you're selling donuts, whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, whatever it is. Give yourself permission to do things differently than everybody else in town. Be different, be unique, embrace who you are, share your human side through the digital platforms, and that's how you can accelerate your brand. You can accelerate the path to ultimate success, however you define it, is just give yourself to be permission and don't be like everyone else. Number two, for all the influencers out there, and I represent different influencers on different spaces, follow, the rules and guidelines, not only with the platform that you're creating content around, but also with the FCC and the FTC for that matter, okay? Follow the rules and regulations and take a couple of hours and get up to speed on what you're supposed to disclose. And then number three, if you're doing business online, like we talked about earlier, take a couple of minutes and really get up to speed with either connecting yourself with the right consultant in your area or self-learn, which is super easy using Google, what you need to do to set up your company, to just do things the right way, to keep yourself safe and to position yourself for long-term success. So those would be my takeaways. And if anyone has any questions about anything we've talked about today, I absolutely love engaging and responding quickly to DMs and emails. You can connect with me over at streaming.lawyer, and I'd be happy to clarify anything that I didn't say clearly during today's show. So just ping me there and we can continue the digital dance. It would be my pleasure.
Amazing. Yes, you guys definitely make sure that you connect with Mitch. As you guys have seen, he just has so much knowledge, and he also just has a heart for helping people and really simplifying this so that you don't feel overwhelmed and you're doing the right things. So definitely make sure that you guys go to streaming.lawyer and connect with Mitch. And also, we published a very, very exciting blog post. So if you guys are not subscribed to our blog, you're going to want to type the word recap in the comments, which will get you subscribed to our blog, because we just published today a blog filled with over 15 digital marketing experts sharing their predictions for 2022. So as we head into this new year, you want to make sure that you are staying on top with the trends, the changes, and really where we see the industry going. So type the word recap so you get subscribed to our blog. And we're going to tell you what you can look forward to next month.
Sounds exciting. Can you share one of the tips that we're going to read about in the blog? You got me. I'm on pins and needles right now. What was your biggest takeaway?
I'm going to say my biggest takeaway when it comes to entering into 2022 is the importance of being human. As a brand, showing the fact that you care, showcasing your teammates, adding a little bit more humanity into your marketing, that is going to be how you truly connect with your audience, because we don't connect with a logo, we connect with other human beings. And so the more you can humanize your marketing and really allow your employees to kind of tell your story for you, the better off you're going to do. And so next month, we are super excited. Jessica Phillips is coming back, and we're going to talk all about these predictions. So that's really what we're going to dive into next month. We're going to talk about what's important, what your brand needs to do to start 2022 off with a bang. And look how cute she looks with her little sunglasses. Oh, love, love, love Jessica. So you guys are going to want to mark your calendar for January 6th. At 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys know we go live on the first Thursday of every single month. So be sure to stay tuned for January 6th at 3:30 p.m. And in the meantime, make sure you connect with Mitch, streaming.lawyer. And thank you guys so much for being here. We had such a blast.
It's great being here.